All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have one last video for this chapter. We're going to talk about angle of elevation and angle of depression. It's going to be a pretty quick video here. Your line of sight, first we need to discuss, is going to be the horizontal pathway, okay, from that connects the subject to where they're looking at. That means your line of sight. So these are basically going to form your parts of your triangles, your legs. Your angle of depression is going to be a downward line of sight. So here we can see that from this line of sight from the airplane down to that diagonal line, this is going to be an angle going downward. So this is your angle of depression. From that horizontal line. Your angle of elevation is going to be an upward from the horizontal line. So that'll be down here at the bottom. We'll go upward, and that'll be our angle of elevation. So this helps you whenever you're reading where to put your angles. Now, another thing we need to talk about is really important with angle of depression is you do have, because both of these lines, these dashed lines, lines of sight, are parallel because they're both horizontal, you're going to have right here your angle of depression and your angle of elevation are going to be alternate interior angles. So that means your angle of elevation and your angle of depression will be congruent. So number one, I'm going to be setting up number 2 and number 3 for you, and you're going to do number 1 and 4 completely on your own. Okay, but number 2 and 3 are pretty important to set up. Number 2, the pilot of a traffic helicopter sights an accident at an angle of depression of 18 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and, of course, we all get to see my really, really great drawings here. Here's my helicopter. Kind of looks like a flying cat or something. And its line of sight is going to go horizontal. All right. What happens is he's going to sight an accident. I'm just going to put a big old blob down here. That's your accident. Okay. He notices this. He looks downward with an angle of depression of 18 degrees. Okay? So there's our angle right there. It continues on to tell us that the helicopter's altitude, its height, right? We all know that the altitude is height, is 1,560 feet. So that means up in the air to the ground, this is going to be 1,560 feet. So we want to know the horizontal distance from the helicopter to the accident. So I want to know this distance right here, okay, on the ground from right below the helicopter to that accident. Okay, this creates our 90-degree angle. This is where we're like, well, I don't have a triangle right here. Well, you could figure that out. You could draw this triangle, or let's practice this angle of depression and angle of elevation being congruent. So this angle of depression is going to be congruent to this angle of elevation. So right here, this is also going to be 18 degrees. So now you can focus on this guy right here being your reference angle. Okay? And go ahead and set up your equation and solve. Number 3 I want to talk about, because it sounds a little confusing sometimes with those wires and saying a flagpole is braced by a wire. We've got a flagpole, okay, again, with my really, really awesome drawings here. It's braced by a wire 8.7 meters long, extending front. Brace just means it's got a wire attached to it, basically. It's going to go from the top of the flagpole. It's going to extend down to the ground. So we're going to have this wire right here. This wire is 8.7 meters long. So here's the ground, and we can connect to make our triangle. Our flagpole is going to have our 90-degree angle here. All right. If the flagpole is 7.4 meters tall, we want to know the angle of elevation to the top. So remember, the angle of elevation, we can't go here. We have to go from horizontal. So your angle of elevation will go from this bottom horizontal line upward. So this is going to be the theta, the missing angle that we are looking for. So you'll go ahead and set up your equation, solve for that one. And then number 1 and 4, I want you guys to read through that. And 4, don't get too confused. We got a horizontal distance, and we also have vertical and horizontal. So vertical up and down, horizontal left and right. Told you guys it'd be a quick video. We'll go over all of this in class later.